I would not have said nothing in it. If she were to say something, it should have been so kind of foggy that nobody could place it from the left to the right. But
I think that's exactly why she did it in such a manner, because she wanted to be clear where her platform stood. Like, she wanted to show her allegiance and alliance with him from start to finish, because it has never wavered with her. Now, I'm with you. Like, I'm actually a fan of Felicia Rashad. Like, just the family, just all of. Yeah, as a person, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but not at the expense of your legend. You can already see that he's using his, so you're the strength of this.
Right.
You can be around him without saying anything, and your presence would have said that without your mouth.
However, it might loop around, because there's so many people in this generation that don't really know her, right? So now these people can start, it's going to build like we're doing. It's going to build a discussion, right? It's going to build, why would a woman at such a level support something that's so atrocious, right? Why would she risk her platform? Why would she risk being branded? Why would she risk being demoted from accomplishments that she...
Maybe she didn't see it as a risk because she comes from the olden days, you know what I'm saying, where there are, a piece of a man is better than no man type of mentality, and you support your black man through thick and thin. Now, today, if we don't, as black women, then we are oftentimes cast out. So what y'all want? If she would have came out and said something else, a half of the crowd would have been, look at black women, they don't support us. They don't support us like the other ones do. And now she come out and then it's like, but look what you support.
Correct. One side. I think you're correct about where she's from the era that she's from. But given watching her and what she spoke on in so many different ways, I don't feel like she's like one of those women that feel like I have to support my man, one that's not her man. You know what I'm saying? That's her coworker, right? And it's her friend. So I don't think that she feels like, okay, I'm not gonna, if I don't support him, it's gonna be this, that, because she has her own money. She doesn't depend on Bill for her stardom. She didn't get the job because of Bill. All right, she got her job in the midst of Bill being locked up. So I don't think she feels like, okay, I need to. Like I don't know if you know this.
She can't wear a hospital because of Bill. So she could have that.
But she's done so much more.
Royal binding
system. Dean was on her own, cutting her own teeth, not because of the show. There's more.
What did you say?
So they brought Felicia Rashad on to be Dean and vocalized it in the manner that they did, not because she was ever Felicia Rashad, because if she was never Felicia Rashad, they would have brought her in just like Jackie down the street. I don't think so. They brought her in, and you know who they saw? They saw Claire Huxtable.
Well, she was she's the Dean of Arts, but because she's done more than her career is I know it. Bill Cosby show was a large part of her.
Whoever hired her looked at her and saw Claire.
Say again?
Whoever hired her saw Claire when they looked at her. Now, they wrote Felicia Rashad. That's what I'm saying.
But she did also support him. She supported him before she got the job.
Okay.
I'd like to add one thing, and Patricia, just to shine a little light on this. I've been a victims advocate professionally for 15 years. Victims. So what I will say is that what I appreciate and what I disagree with this whole conversation, not with us, but it publicly, is how she can stand on her ground in regards to her personal opinions about her friend, right? Her viewpoint, her observational vantage point of her experiences, right? That's what she's doing. Without that somehow diluting her or not supporting victims' rights. You know what I mean? We have come to become a society where you can't speak on anything without it being so like, oh, you're against this one. Oh, you're against. We're separating everybody into so many different factions, right? So it doesn't have to be either or. She can support women's rights. She can support victims' rights. And she can also support her friend who she's known and has had conversations with and dealt with the industry in a way that none of us really understand how things play out. You know what I mean?
Patricia,
so I just wish...
Patricia,
go ahead.
Yeah, I just got to say, Patricia, sorry, Imia. You don't know this about me either, but someone accused me of something, and I literally had to have the police on the phone, and they had to hear the woman say that she lied. She said everything else, but she lied, and it wasn't enough for them. It was not enough. She said 7 different things, and it wasn't enough for them. She had to say, I lied. All right, and that's the only reason why I'm not in jail for something I did not do. I'm the one that called the police first because she blocked me from leaving her home because I would not have sex with her. So it does exist that people lie. Do I think every person lied? No, not in the case of
Wasn't it like 50 women?
Huh?
Wasn't it like 50 women? How many women?
Yes, but here's the thing: money, and power will employ a lot to shut down another. I guarantee you that. Now, do I think that, I've said it a million times, whether it's music, whether it's love, whatever it is, I always say, when you incorporate drugs, you are playing Russian roulette. And we know a lot of people that get with ladies and they say, hey, have a drink. But it's okay if you have a drink. But it's still lowering your inhibitions.
But wait, let me tell you something. Hold on. Sexual abuse is never about sex. Sexual abuse is always about power and control. Mm-hmm. And the one thing Bill Cosby had and obsessed over, and that's what Patricia was mentioning in regards to his narcissistic use of his name for the show, was his use of power and control. So I grew up, and I always say this, I grew up with that show. That show taught me what I wanted as a family. I mean, Claire Huxtable, that's who I wanted to be, right?
Yeah, me too.
And so find a Bill Cosby.
Is on my blazers because of Claire.
Right?
With the scarf over the shoulder and everything.
But I personally, when you factor into certain things, right, knowing the work that I've done, understanding the judicial system, how it works, understanding how difficult it is to prosecute these types of cases, especially when there's a long period of time, especially when there's no forensic DNA evidence, okay? Especially when you have somebody at this caliber. I understand how difficult it is. I believe when victims come forward, it's not about the money, because I also understand how difficult it is, because I have been the voice of victims for so long. I know how difficult it is. Nobody gets a pat on the shoulder. I don't care how much money you get patted in your pockets. Okay? Yeah. So my point in all of this is that I appreciate her bravery, Felicia Rashad's bravery, and standing for what she believes in. That doesn't mean it has to be what we believe in. And I think that's what Howard University has to recognize. She's not saying this is Howard University's stance. This is her stance as an individual. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I do agree with Patricia.
I understand.
Say that she shouldn't have said anything. She should have not threatened her position.
I understand why she did it. I don't appreciate it because I feel like she could have chosen a more intelligent route, and I feel like it was impulsive. But she could have, this could have been, first of all, she needs to talk to Bill. Okay? You talk to you, that's your friend? Talk to your friend. Was that wrong? What he did, see what's going on. Now, with the power that the two of you have, like how you're doing victims' rights and stuff like that, she could have took that route. You don't need to talk. Get with him and start doing a victims' rights campaign. Start helping other people use your power. You're really too powerful to be busting out talking like you're Jackie on Twitter. You know, and I don't think what she did edified anything. All it did was draw a discussion towards her why she said something, rather than a more productive route of action that could have been taken that people would have benefited from their power more so than.
And you know what? And this is my friend. I've known her for over 20 years, okay? That's how long I've known her, all right? Longer than Tag's been alive, okay? But if I was faced with it, she would be like, nope, I believe in my friend. He wouldn't have done it, whatever. But I would not get mad at her if she didn't make a post. I know, especially if she was still working for the government agencies that she used to work for, protecting children. I would understand if she took that smart route that you're talking about, Patricia. I would understand if she took that route because she still has children that she has to take care of. She still has to take care of herself. So I totally get where you're coming from. That is another way, but I also see where Imia is saying it was on. Oh, you actually not you said it, Patricia. She did it on impulse, and sometimes when it has to do with your friends, you do things on impulse and out of love. And sometimes it bites you in the butt, but like Imia said, it may turn into a bigger situation and a bigger conversation that hopefully will be for the better for everybody. Because even one person that in Howard, Miss Renee B said, I would feel very safe if you sent me to Bill. Now she's being catty, but she said Howard will survive and the school will survive. We love Felicia Rashad and nothing will change. So y'all better back off. My thing is this. It's not really about backing off. It's really just like how she has the right to say what she feels about her friend. People have the right to say what they feel if they feel that way. Do I think she should be canceled? No. I think that at the end of the day, she got the job without Bill. You guys gave her that job because you know what she could do for the arts part of Howard University. But there was one thing that Imia brought up. Let me see here. Thank you, Rello. Imia, Thomas Sowell. So is it Thomas Sowell? You know who's that? Well, he said that people sometimes ask if I have tried to convince black leaders to take a different view on racial issues. He says, of course not. I wouldn't spend my time trying to persuade the mafia to give up crime. Why should I spend time trying to convince race hustlers to give up victimhood? Somebody replied with that on that and said, I'm seeing way too many white folk fundraising in the name of reparations this 4th of July. 4th of July was just 2 days ago. That is not your lane. Should you pay reparations? Yes. Should you be using your privilege to collect funds and overshadowing black organizers today? Heck no. Y'all perpetuated the harm done to black folks all over again. What do you say about that?
Well, I sent that one to you because I've seen that for so many years, right? I mean, any nonprofit, their marketing and development team, go to any nonprofit in your city, in your county, in your state. Look who's doing the marketing and development. It is not a black person. It is not a person of color. 90% of the people on that development team is going to be an individual who has the vested interest of the organization as opposed to the individual. And so when that one popped up, I was like, this is again and again. I mean, that's not a statistical comment, but if you go and you look at the development team, look at executive leadership. The executive leadership, again, are not the representation of the frontline staff.
People that they're trying to help.
It's not enough of the representation of the participants of the programs, right? So when fundraisers are fundraising for reparation for the black community, but they know how to get money, but that money is not going where it needs to go. And so it's time for that to change. It's really time for that to change.
In all cases, that money is not going, or just a lot?